Hello, boys and girls. This is our second read of The Kite, and this is from a chapter book called Days with Frog and Toad, and it's written by Arnold Lobel. He not only wrote it, but he also drew all the pictures in it. Remember, this story is a fantasy. It's make-believe because frogs and toads do not wear clothes ever. They don't walk around on their 2 feet. They don't talk. They don't fly kites. It's baloney. It's fantasy. Could never happen. This story is in our California Journeys Grade 1, Unit 6 textbook. Okay, so as we read it, well, let's talk a little bit about the weather. Okay, so it says, how can weather change your day? So here I have this. We make this in class actually this week, and I have colored it. So here's weather. How does weather affect your day? Well, if it's too hot, your mom will make you stay inside. She doesn't want you to get heat stroke. You might not want to go outside and play in the playground because the slide will burn you, you know? So sometimes it's so cold that you don't want to go outside and play either because it's just miserable out there. So unless you're super, super bundled up, you don't want to be outside. Where we live in Mojave, home of thousands of windmills, there are very windy days, aren't there? We have windstorms. The windstorms pick up gravel and sand and blast them into our eyes sometimes, so we don't want to be outside when it's too windy. So sometimes when the sun's out, it is super hot, but sometimes when it's sunny, it's nice and warm, and our moms will let us go outside and play. Okay, some days are sunny and cloudy. They're nice days. Your mom, of course, would never, like, let's say you were going to go play t-ball or something, or baseball, or go and do something with friends, but that was outside. But if there's a thunderstorm and lightning, guess what? No game. You can't play it. No going outside to play with friends because you'll get all wet and you might get electrocuted by one of those lightning bolts. So definitely weather does change our days. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this. I'm going to go ahead and just read you these words. The yellow ones are on our test on Friday, and the ones that I underlined or circled in green, they're just words I want you to know. So this one says large, meadow. Remember this picture from yesterday? It was a very lame picture, but where you have trees on around it, but there's like a field in the middle, and that's like a meadow. Meadow is like a field. And this word right here says ball. Okay, so let's read this together. You're tracking with your eyes, I'm tracking with my fingers, and we're all reading. So you're reading, and I'm reading. Are you ready? Second read. Frog and Toad went out to fly a kite. They went to a large meadow where the wind was strong. Our kite will fly up and up, said Frog. It will fly all the way up to the top of the sky. Toad, said Frog, I will hold the ball of string. You hold the kite and run. Okay, so he will hold the ball of string. What to remember about the ball of string? This isn't exactly in a ball, but sometimes the string is in a ball. So in this situation, you're going to have two people man the kite. One that's going to get up in the air and one that's going to hold a string. Okay, so let's read these words. What does that one say? Across. Meadow. Herd. Laughter. Toad ran across the meadow. He ran as fast as his short legs could carry him. The kite went up in the air. It fell to the ground with a bump. Toad heard laughter. 3 robins were sitting in a bush. "That kite will not fly," said the robins. "You may as well give up." Toad ran back to Frog. "Frog," said Toad, "this kite will not fly. I give up." "We must make a second try," said Frog. "Wave the kite over your head. Perhaps that will make it fly." So look at him. And remember, back over here, if you follow the string, Toad will be holding the ball of string. Anyways, put your fingers right here. Oh, I forgot. What does this one say again? Second. We must make a second try, said Frog. What does that one say? Head. He says, wave the kite over your head. Sort of like what she's doing. And her too. Perhaps that will make it fly. That says perhaps. So let's go down here. Toad ran back across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. The kite went up in the air and then fell down with a thud. "What a joke," said the robins. "That kite will never get off the ground." Like, they don't know that. Why are they just being mean like that? What does this one say? It's the same as this one over here. He keeps on saying it. It says perhaps. Perhaps means like maybe. Like, perhaps I will go to the party and perhaps I will not. It means the same as maybe. Okay, put your fingers here. Toad ran back to Frog. "This kite is a joke," he said. "It will never get off the ground." "We have to make a third try," said Frog. "Wave the kite over your head and jump up and down. Perhaps that will make it fly." Toad ran across the meadow again. He waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down. The kite went up in the air and crashed down into the grass. So junk, like something no one wants. Oh, it's on here twice. Junk, junk. And the word should. That L is silent. And that one is on your test. Should. Okay, so let's track with your eyes. Remember, you're trying to read this at the same time I am. Ready? Read. "That kite is junk," said the robins. "Throw it away and go home." Toad ran back to Frog. "This kite is junk," he said. "I think we should throw it away and go home." "Toad," said Frog, "we need one more try. Wave the kite over your head, jump up and down, and shout, 'Up, kite, up!'" Toad ran across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down. He shouted, "Up, kite, up!" The kite flew into the air. It climbed higher and higher. "We did it!" cried Toad. Oh, that word says cried. Cried. Yes, said Frog. If a running try did not work, a running and waving try did not work. A running, waving, and jumping try did not work. I knew that a running, waving, jumping, and shouting try just had to work. That was a fun story. The robins flew out of the bush, but they could not fly as high as the kite. Frog and Toad sat and watched their kite. It seemed to be flying way up at the top of the sky. So it's nice weather. It looks like it's perfect weather. It's a little bit windy. You have to sort of catch a breeze to fly a kite. It's not too hot or too cold. All right, boys and girls. Thank you for helping me read that.